The price of Bitcoin is $25,970. Overnight, the price of Bitcoin has come down slightly, and we have left a CME gap at the level of $26,500. If we look at what happened last night, you'll see, of course, the price of Bitcoin rallied to the upside. It didn't quite manage to close that CME gap. Come around midnight here, we did not manage to close that CME gap. We dropped back down before midnight happened, and so we've now left a CME gap on the price of Bitcoin at $26,500. Now, this week in crypto could be a particularly big one. There are three major events that are happening this week in crypto. The first being the court is going to hear the SEC's emergency motion to freeze Binance's US's funds. The second major thing that's going to be happening is the US House of Representatives Committee Future of Crypto meeting, which is going to be a particularly interesting one. Third thing, documents central to Ripple's case against the SEC are going to be unsealed. And fourthly, the US inflation data is going to be happening this week, as well as the Federal Reserve meeting ending and Chairman Powell's speech. It's all going to be particularly interesting. Then, of course, it all ends on Friday with Governor Waller's speech. All of these things are going to have a tremendous market impact this week. We can expect a lot from the crypto markets this week. It is going to be volatile. It is going to be quite fun. And if you're up for it, drop a like on this video. I'd appreciate that. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm, so please do drop a like and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on what you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin this week. Today, I'm going to be showing you my current open trades, of which I've opened a new trade, and we're going to be talking about the XRP case, what is going on with the price of Bitcoin, what is going on with the price of Ethereum. So slap a like, subscribe, and let's crack straight on. First away, the Bitcoin chart on the 15-minute chart. How are we looking right now? Well, Bitcoin, of course, is ranging outwards, having had this drop down last week back out of the $26,500 range. It's important to point out that that drop out of this range here, I mean, this is where the CME gap opened, right up at this level, and we're yet to come up and retest this level. So that probably we can expect to happen at some point this week, potentially on Wednesday, as the news comes from the CME, on the CME Fed Watch tool. You can see here there is only 2 days and 5 hours to go until the next Federal Reserve rate hike meeting. That would take place on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we get to find out basically whether or not there is going to be a rate hike. If there is no rate hike on Wednesday, and currently, if this chart would care to load, of which it's not doing right now, there we go. You can see that the chance of no change in the rate hike is currently sat at 74.8%. Currently, there is only a 25% hike, 25% chance of a 0.25% hike. So that means, basically, if there is no hike, the markets are going to pump. Why are the markets going to pump? Because that means that inflation is calming down. That will mean that basically people then start taking money out of bank accounts because there's less of a savings rate, and it's more likely that they start investing into the stock market. Now, something to point out recently would be, if we actually look at the stock market investing is getting more and more popular again. This is the S&P 500, and on the S&P 500, you can see that, well, over the course of the last, this is the weekly chart, past few weeks now, many weeks in a row, we've started rallying back to the upside, and you can see that trend is definitely your friend on the S&P 500. When you tend to break to the upside, especially on a bull flag like this, strangely shaped bull flag, but it's still bull flagging to the upside, it looks pretty decent. Now, the question is that going to be reflected in the price of Bitcoin? Well, for that, we need a little bit more perspective on the price of Bitcoin right now. So looking at the 4-hour chart on the price of Bitcoin, to zoom out a little bit, you can see that Bitcoin actually formed a very similar pattern to what the S&P 500 did on that higher time frame on the weekly chart. So, to be honest, we are trending downwards right now. However, there is a very key level of resistance that we need to break through. That would be this level of resistance right here. This is kind of the middle of this trading range here. And if we were to break above the middle of this trading range, which would be a break of approximately $26,200, we would then start trading back to the upside, and then that would reopen the highs here. And basically, we're looking for a retest here of the level of $26,600 in order to close that CME gap. On Bitcoin dominance is looking pretty decent right now. It's starting to rally back to the upside, which is typically what you see at the start of a bull market. And I believe that we're at the start of a bull market right now. Currently, this is Ethereum's 1-hour chart. On the 1-hour chart, you can see the Ethereum on the US dollar chart has been trending to the downside. However, if we look at the the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, you can look. Sorry, I'm getting my words muddled here. Ethereum has been dropping Bitcoin value very significantly in recent days. It's come down. It's having a bullish retest off the outside of this level of support here. It's resistance that has now turned into support. Assuming that we get the bounce on Ethereum versus Bitcoin in the next 24 to 48 hour period, it actually looks pretty good. So I am opening a long position on the price of Ethereum right now. Another trade that I've opened today is here on GMT USD. Why have I opened a trade on on GMT USD? Well, I've opened a long position, of course, on GMT USD because if we look at the 4-hour chart on GMT USD, the price has never actually been lower than what it currently is at. Now, yes, it wicked downwards. That's causing by liquidations or whatever, down to 17 cents the other day. But currently, the price is at 19 cents. It's never been lower. And I expect a bounce to the upside just purely from the fact that it's not really had any kind of recovery bounce so far. From my perspective, it seems like a good play to take. So I've bought $200,000 of GMT coins. And hopefully, it all goes pretty well. And hopefully, the price rises back to the upside. It was ultimately 66 cents on the start of this year, and currently it sits at 19 cents. So it's down another 60% so far this year. So hopefully it does some price recovery throughout the course of the next week. It is ultimately quite a liquid. So if altcoins get a boost from the XRP lawsuit, which is coming to an end this week here, XRP and a choppy return to $1 in the hands of the Hinman documents. It's a quiet start of the week for XRP. However, William Hinman's speech related documents are out on Wednesday, which will impact the broader market. Now, if XRP wins the case because of these Hinman documents that show that XRP is not a security, the entire altcoin market is going to boom. Hence why I want to position myself in the altcoins right now. Look, if the altcoins are going to drop, the altcoins won't suffer too much as a drop to the downside, but the upside on this is pretty significant. Look, if the XRP stuff comes out in favor of XRP and they win their lawsuit against the SEC, we're going to see a huge jump in the amount of altcoin trading happening and in the overall altcoin market, because it would then set precedent that a lot of altcoins are not securities. At the same time, on Wednesday, of course, we've got the FOMC meeting, and Powell's going to start opening his mouth again, and it's just going to be pretty interesting. You've got Powell and Gensler always yapping on at each other. Either way, Ethereum looks pretty decent right now. Bitcoin looks pretty decent right now in terms of buying opportunities. The overall prices don't look particularly amazing. And I also like to point out that the price of XTP is down at these low levels here. There is some nice liquidity available to buy in the charts down at these levels. And then after we've passed through kind of 16 Satoshis here, there is little resistance in the charts. In fact, for XTP's price to go up 3 times now, you would only require 7 Bitcoin. That is just abhorrently small, and basically any kind of liquidity boost is going to be very significant towards the price of XTP. So what am I thinking about these markets right now? Well, of course, bullish on Bitcoin, bullish on Ethereum going into the Fed rate hike or not rate hike this week. XRP is going to be probably a pretty decent play this week. In fact, I'm going to bring up an XRP chart to show you what's been going on, because XRP's price has been a little bit all over the place this past couple of days. Currently, it sits at 51.8 cents. However, it is toying with this level of resistance. And as you can see, inverse head and shoulders pattern. I think the news is going to be bullish. This chart entirely depends on the news. It's pointless really charting it. But to be honest, as soon as we break through this 54-cent level up here, I expect basically a rally all the way up to $1. Because if you look at the history of XRP, look at that price history right there. When we dropped to the downside, we left a huge gap in the charts. We dropped to the downside so quickly on the price of XRP that within 2 weeks, we'd crushed between 80 cents and we were down basically at 30 cents. It dropped so quickly that it will likely rise back up very quickly as well. And don't forget, when XRP starts rallying, it rallies very quickly all the way through history. XRP rallied quickly. It also drops pretty quickly. But at the same time, I think this is a pretty good play going into the next week. Another good play at the moment, I think, is gold. I'd like to buy some gold, to be honest, and I will probably do that in a future video. So on that note, guys, if you are excited for the market for the next week, do drop a like on today's video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're interested in trading, check out the links and information on the screen right now to the trading tutorial. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later today in another video. Goodbye.